Hello everyone, this is Dr. Jaden. Welcome to Ming Medicine. Today we will discuss about the last factor in reading Bazi, which is Yong Shin. Last time we talked about daily master and dominant energy. Yong Shin can be determined only after we know the relation between these two factors. So what is Yong Shin? Yong Shin is the most preferable energy in the Bazi chart, which the daily master continuously needs. In Di Tian Shui, Yong Shin is described as the spirit the daily master delights in and relies on from the beginning to the end. We all have certain types of partiality, which I have defined as dominant energy. And because of that, the daily master has different imbalances in different forms. Yong Shin is the energy that tries to bring daily master's partialities to a balanced state. Let's make some examples with the 5 archetypes of wood. It is a little different how to determine Yong Shin between strong charts and weak charts. Today we will focus on strong charts first. In 5 archetypes of wood, these 2 archetypes are considered as strong charts. One is exuberant wood, and the other is drifted wood. Here, daily master is Jia wood, and the wood becomes dominant energy itself. It is called as exuberant wood in the classics. First, we need to control this wood, so metal becomes primary Yong Shin to make this chart in balance. Earth can be the secondary Yong Shin because it can support the metal by generating cycle. How about fire? The strong wood energy can be drained by the generating cycle. So fire can be the secondary Yong Shin as well. How do we see these relations in a real chart? If the chart looks like this yearly pillar can be used as Yong Shin because metal can control this strong wood. Of course, this metal is relatively much weaker than the wood. But if this chart meets strong metal energy again, like the year of 1980, now this chart becomes a little more balanced, right? So we can say this chart got supported by the energy of 1980, or we can just simply say 1980 was a good year for this chart. How about this? The year of 2018 was very strong earth, so this earth could support the yearly pillar in the chart. So 2018 was also a good year for this chart, and both earth and metal influenced on this chart in positive ways. Let's look at another chart. Wood energy is still really strong, and there is a metal energy and earth in the chart as well. Anyway, metal becomes Yong Shin because it can control wood. And this yearly pillar is supporting this metal by generating cycle. So this chart is a little more balanced than previous charts. If the hourly stem is fire, now this chart is more balanced because now there's a way for this strong wood to be able to get drained by generating cycle. If this kind of chart meets strong water, like year of 1983, the strong water gives more energy to the wood by generating cycle and distinguish this fire by controlling cycle. Like this, the element that adds more power to the dominant energy is considered as a negative element. So 1983 was not a good year for this chart. Little complicated? Seems I go here and there, but the real chart is more complicated. So we need to practice in this way over and over. So in exuberant wood chart, metal is Yong Shin, but we can see these 3 elements are positive, and these 2 elements are not positive. This is the common example of strong chart, A strong chart can usually use 3 elements as positive and these 2 as negative elements. Here, fire can be a little tricky because fire controls metal, which is Yong Shin of this chart. So we have to look at carefully if fire is helping this chart by draining strong wood, or fire is disturbing this metal's responsibility. For example, let's get back to the chart. This was a good fire because it drains the energy of strong wood. And the metal on the monthly stem, which is Yong Shin, is not damaged and has some support by earth. However, if one's chart looks like this fire can act as a negative element because it controls the metal in the yearly stem. And the earth in the hourly pillar is too far from the metal on the yearly stem, so metal is not really supported in this chart. Can you see there are exactly same elements in the chart as previous chart? But because of different structures, fire's role now has been changed. Now it restricts the Yong Shin's energy. So it is important to see where each 5 element is located in the chart. Let's look at one more strong chart in wood, which is drifted wood. Here the water element became dominant energy. So first, we need to control this water by using the earth. So this earth becomes Yong Shin, and fire can be the secondary Yong Shin because it supports this earth. Metal can be secondary Yong Shin depending on the chart, but basically metal generates water, so it is usually not very helpful. This is the example of drifted wood. Of course, the earth in the hourly pillar becomes Yong Shin because they can control the strong water. If this chart meets fire year like 1966, both fire and earth can make the balance in the chart. Or we can make this kind of chart, which fire already generates the earth in the chart. How about this? Now there are better combinations of fire and earth. It looks more balanced to me. As I said, metal can be tricky in drifted wood. If the metal is located in between earth and water, metal will take the energy from the earth and generate the water again. So this is not a good metal. However, if someone's chart looks like this, now metal can control the strong wood. The number of wood is just 1 in this chart, but all the water is supporting this wood, so it is really strong wood. So in this case, metal can be positive in some points. And this is the worst metal in drifted wood. They just keep adding water into the chart, so it is not helping this wood at all. This kind of chart definitely needs earth energy or fire energy. Can you guys see the differences among the charts? I will bring as much examples as possible like today, so you guys will be able to have more sense by watching my videos. So in strong chart, Yong Shin is basically the element that controls dominant energy. And the element that generates Yong Shin can be secondary Yong Shin, which becomes the part of positive energy. These are the primary principles, but we need to look at the structures of each chart in detail to really figure out what elements the chart need. Next time, we will discuss about Yong Shin in weak charts, so try to figure out if your chart is strong or weak, and try to find Yong Shin. And if you have any question, please comment on this video or send me an email to drjkemedicine@gmail.com. Thank you for watching this video. This was Dr. Jaden, and I will see you later. Bye.